Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And today we're going to take another look at the Drake Buccaneer. Now this is one of the viewers that have requested that I take a look at this ship again. So I thought, well, why not? Let's go ahead and take a look at the Buccaneer. We can kind of compare it to where the M50 was a couple days ago and then the Car2Al yesterday. You know, they're kind of in that same light fighter role or interceptor role, so I wanted to see how it compares. Now this beast of a light fighter comes with two size 2s, two size 3s, and a size 4 mount. And I have chosen to go with an all fixed loadout with all laser repeaters. So I've got two Badger repeaters as the size 2s, two Panther repeaters as the size 3s, and one Rhino repeater as my size 4. Obviously you can choose all sorts of different loadouts, ballistics, neutrons, whatever you want to do. I just kind of like doing these. They're easy to pull off of some of my other ships and put on this one. As far as components on this thing, I have two polar coolers, which are Class B military coolers, and then I have a JS300 for my power plant, which is a Class A military power plant, and then I've got, I think, two force walls for my shields. Those are grade B military shields. I could have put F66 on there, but for some reason they weren't popping up for me until I tested out some different ships after this, which brings me to a whole nother thing. I'm going to talk about some different ships tomorrow, mostly about missiles and shields though, as that'll be the focus of that particular video. But today's video is all about this Drake Buccaneer, and my very first enemy that I'm going against is another Buccaneer. So how will we fare against one of our own? I've already taken a missile shot, which it means it's doing a little better than maybe the Car2Al or the M50. My shields are pretty much down. I'm able to withstand enough shots here. I'm able to survive. They do some damage to the hull. But again, I'm still surviving, which is better than what the Car2Al or the M50 were doing in the previous 2 days. So to say that the Drake Buccaneer is a little bit sturdier than those two ships, yeah, it's definitely a little sturdier. And that was one of the things that they talked about doing, is buffing this ship a little bit, buffing all the Drake ships and their armor. Now, is armor really in the game? That's a great question, and I am going to say no. They are still using a hit point system. So the hit point system is, you know, your ship has a certain amount of hit points, shields have a certain amount of hit points, etc. They're going to kind of do away with that when they add armor. There's going to be armor values, there's going to be a certain amount of resistance that armor gives you, that sort of thing. Now, when I was in the process of jumping to my next bounty mission, which all these missions are bounty or ECN missions around Hurston, I got ambushed by a couple of Connie Andromedas, Drake Buccaneers. Actually, it wasn't really me that got ambushed. A Drake Caterpillar pulled up alongside of me before I got a chance to jump out towards my next mission, and these guys ambushed him. So I was able to help out this Caterpillar, which was an NPC character. It wasn't an actual player, and there were several rounds of these Andromedas and Buccaneers coming after this guy. So it was a great way to test how this thing compares against the bigger ships. I'm going to tell you right now, the Andromeda, since it does not use its missiles, is kind of a cakewalk. Now, some of the other little ships that use their missiles, they are pretty deadly to light fighters right now, and even medium fighters, as you'll find out tomorrow. So I would say definitely use missiles if you are PvPing anytime soon. So the Caterpillar was rescued from the first wave there. I'm going to get a little closer look. I could even try to board this thing, but I didn't put too much effort into it, as I was just trying to get video for this particular ship and not actually boarding and raiding a caterpillar. So here comes this next wave, and we are definitely engaging in full here again. I have tried to link all my guns to one fire button. You can do that by going to one of your MFDs down there and clicking on guns, and then there's a panel specifically for guns, and you can change which weapon group they fire in. So I would advise doing that if you want all your weapons to fire at the same time. Now, if you are using a mix of ballistics and repeaters or something along those lines, you probably don't want them firing at the same time. They're going to use different pips, and they'll probably have different ranges. So that would be some time that you could actually, you know, have them on separate weapon groups. But again, the Buccaneer here is performing really well. I was really impressed with my experience with this ship here in this patch. It was able to survive some missile swarms. It was able to survive gunfire, and I was able to take down quite a few bad guys in the process. It's fairly maneuverable. You know, it's kind of an enjoy. You know, I kind of enjoy flying this ship and fighting. How's it compare with the Gladius? Well, maybe I'll have to do another video with the Gladius. That's on the radar, but it may be a couple days off. This thing still feels pretty good. You know, I can tell you that it's much better than the Constellation. I'm sorry, the Consolidated Outland Mustang Delta, and much better than the Anvil Arrow. That's going to get a lot of people's panties in a wad. I apologize, but it is much better than the Arrow because it's got those 2 shield generators rather than the Arrow's 1. And the Arrow is going to rely more on stealth stuff, but right now with the missiles the way they are, an Arrow cannot withstand 1 hit from a missile. You'll see that tomorrow. So let's move on to our next bounty, our next mission objective. So far so good in this Buccaneer. It is definitely holding up really well. What are you guys thinking of it so far? Are you enjoying watching how the Buccaneer fights? Is this a ship that you use? And is it a ship that you're interested in using? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, real quick, I want to say thank you to everybody that's been watching my videos here lately. You guys are so awesome. I really do appreciate it. You're really helping me out this month, especially you guys who've been watching all the ads and clicking on the ads. That's been helping tremendously. And I also want to give a shout out to all my Patreon and YouTube members. You guys are really, really awesome. You take the cake. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. If you want to be involved with either one of those programs, you can do that. It's just $1 to join the YouTube membership. All that information will be down below in the description of this video, as well as information on how to join the org, my Discord, and if you've never played the game before and it's something you might be interested in, there's also a referral code down there that will help you get 5,000 bonus UEC credits. So that's a good way to start your career in Star Citizen. But here I am. I was able to take out 2 more bounties. Not a big deal. Now, it becomes a little bit more difficult on this next one because it's a crime stat 4 bounty, which means there's going to be like 5 ships or some such that I have to engage, which this little thing will do quite well against those 5 or 6 ships. I will try the same mission tomorrow with some different ships, and you're going to see how they fare in comparison. So keep in mind how this one's working against all these ships, and how that one tomorrow, how all those ships fare as well. I can tell you this one's already doing much better. You can see my missiles have been taking down my shields again, but I'm still fighting on. I'm still doing well. I just got hit with another missile or 2, and I lost a wing. Luckily, I was able to take out a couple of enemy ships before that happened, and kind of even the odds a little bit more. So I just have to try to take out as many of these ships as possible before I lose any more weapons, components, or life. It becomes a little bit more difficult to fight with or against this Buccaneer when I've lost one of my hard points. Unfortunately, you have to deal with that, and I just have to try to get more shots on target. Now, I will tell you that I'm definitely experiencing some desync here, and you guys can see some weird graphical artifacts or glitches as I'm fighting. And my reticle can be right over the top of their reticle there, their lead pip, and it'll jerk one way or the other. I can have shots going right there, and it's still for some reason not registering those hits. As you can see, I just took some more damage. My left wing is now red, bright red, which means I could lose it at any time. So I decided to go a different strat. That one guy I'm not able to hit for some reason, so I'm going to switch it up and go after one of his buddies. You can see the little glitchy graphics there in the lower left. To me, that's signifying something else is going on the server, and that is probably where I'm having some of my desync issues, is that there's just some weirdness going on between the server and what I have going on in this combat. Maybe the server tick rate can't keep up. I'm not really sure. I only have one more guy to finish here, and I will complete this bounty, and there we have it. So all around, this Buccaneer was a lot of fun to fly. It did survive probably the hardest bounty mission that out of the first few that you can get here at Hurston. The Crime Stat 4 one's definitely more difficult for the smaller ships. If you're in a bigger ship, you don't have anything to worry about except for, trying to get on target and hit those guys. So thank you all for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed before, and a lot of you haven't, please hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon to let you know when I do more of these videos. It really helps out. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.